Hello, welcome to the Scalable Leadership live session today. I want to welcome every single one of you that is joining me today from different parts of the world. Thank you very much for joining me, whether you are joining me from the United States, from South Africa, from the UK, from India, from Australia, or anywhere else you are joining me from. You are truly welcome to Scalable Leadership Life. And I do not take it lightly that you are here. I know people have different things they could be doing right now. So the fact that you choose to spend this time here means something huge. That means you value leadership and you want to become a better person. So welcome to this live session. I will be having this every Monday to support you and to help your leadership growth. Whatever level you had today, I strongly believe that you can become a better leader. Everyone has the capacity to become a better leader. So, welcome. We are live right now on YouTube, on LinkedIn, and on Facebook. All right. Welcome. Thank you, everyone. Yes, I thank you. Thank you for joining me. All right. Okay. Yeah, thank you. All right. I want to encourage you to please share this with people you know anywhere in the world. It's going to be highly impactful. We are starting today. We started at 3 p.m. Central Time, which of course is that was 9 p.m. West African time. And for those joining from other regions in the world, that would be 4 p.m. Eastern Time, New York time, 10 p.m. South African time, 1:30 a.m. IST, in India. And that would be Tuesday, right? It's still Monday for me here. And I believe that would be 6 a.m. in Australia. Wow. So wherever you are joining me from, I want you to, to feel like you are part of something global, not just a session, but a growing community of leaders who are very serious about becoming better. All right. So let me be very honest with you as we begin this session together today. I am here because I am very much passionate about helping others to become better in the place of leadership. I am not here to, to let you know that I have figured everything out. Okay. I'm here because I have failed, I have learned, I have grown, and I'm still growing every single day. And if there is one thing I've experienced personally, it is the feeling that many people do not talk about openly. The feeling where you know you are working really hard. You are trying, you are putting in the effort every single day. But when you look at your life, when you look at your work, when you look at your results, something is not scaling the way you expected. I've been there and I've seen it all. I've experienced it myself more than once, more than twice, more than thrice. Okay. And for a long time, I thought the solution was very simple. I thought maybe I just needed to work harder. Maybe I needed to push more. Maybe I needed more time, right? And if you are feeling that way, I completely understand. And I want to welcome you because that is what we're going to be dealing with today. We're going to be looking into how to scale your personal leadership. Let me say this. Over time, I started realizing something that is very, very deep, which of course I'm going to talk about as we move on. I realized that hard work is not always the problem. Okay. In fact, sometimes the real issue is that we are missing the pattern. Everything has a pattern. Everything in life, everything. Growth has a pattern. Scaling has a pattern. Your leadership has a pattern. And we're going to look into some patterns. I mean, look around the world. Because when you look at history, you start to see something very clear. Think about 2017. Most people thought Bitcoin was a scam. They thought it was a scam. In 2020, most people believed remote work would not last. Okay. When COVID was here, they thought it wouldn't last. But today, most organizations, if not all, have adopted that completely. So think about 2023. Many people treated AI like a toy. Oh, this thing, well, it will come and go and all of that. In fact, some people call it evil spirit. But here's the thing. Well, we're not here today to talk about AI. In every case, there's something I know. A small group of people saw something early. In every case, they position themselves and they start building while others are just there trying to understand what was happening. Oh, what's going on? Because some people make things happen, some watch things happen, and some group of people ask, what happened? Right? So you don't want to be part of the last two groups. You want to be part of the group that makes things happen. And that's the group where you want to belong. And that's one of the things we're going to be talking about today. And let me say this. By the time everyone else caught up with what is happening, the gap had already widened. Many people are not thinking about how to transform or change their situations today, or how to create sustainable change in their businesses, in their teams, in their organizations. They're wondering, okay, what do we need to do? They are still trying to figure things out. Some know what to do, but they are not really taking the action to make things happen. See, here's the thing. By the time you see that something is already public, by the time that you see that most people are already doing something, it's already late. It's already late. But when it comes to patterns, everything in life follows a pattern. Okay. Now, here's what really changed my own thinking. And I want to quickly share that with you today. I realized that patterns generally are not just about technology or business. Patterns exist in leadership. Let me say that again. Patterns exist in leadership. And many of us are experiencing it personally without even realizing it every single day. You are living patterns, you are experiencing patterns because patterns can be discovered. Okay. You can use patterns and then you can recreate patterns. I'm going to explain that as we move on today. You can discover patterns. For example, success leaves clues, right? You can study people who are truly successful in life and look at the patterns. Imagine the Bible. I'm a believer. Imagine studying the life of Moses, studying the life of Jesus, studying the life of Paul, Apostle Paul, studying the life of Peter, studying the life of Timothy, studying the life of Elijah, Elisha. Imagine studying those lives, Joshua, David, studying those lives, and then look for patterns of success and then look for patterns of failures as well. Okay? Because the moment you start looking for patterns, you can easily understand that, okay, if I go this way, I can truly be successful because you can discover patterns. That means you have discovered the patterns of success, right? The same thing happens when it comes to the aspect of failure. You need to also study the patterns of failure so you know that, okay, I shouldn't do this, all right? So, success leaves clues. Let me start with this. When it comes to pattern discovery, in fact, let me take you back for a moment. Let's start this way. I did not grow up personally with leadership language. Okay, I started in the in an environment where leadership was not the language. Nobody was talking to me about frameworks or strategy or scaling. My first lessons came from watching my father on the farm in Elisha, Osun State in Nigeria. At that time, I will be honest with you, it did not look like leadership for me. It looked like hard work. It looked like stress. It looked as if I was being forced to go to the farm because we had to. It was just routine for me, consistency, doing the same thing again and again every weekend. Every Saturday in the morning, my father would be like, hey, everybody, let's go. And we had to go. There was no negotiation, there was no argument. You had to get up and get ready to enter the farm. So it was a normal routine and consistent act every weekend. But that environment of farming, planted something in me, something really big. And I did not know that all those things were happening. When people say all things work together for good, all right, which is also scriptural, is divine. And that's very true. All things work together for good. Those things were working for me then unknowingly. Even though I did not understand it then, I was learning that you cannot harvest what you have not cultivated. But I didn't know that I was acquiring those skills. As a young boy, I had vision. I believe there was more for me. I imagined impact beyond what I was seeing. But when I stepped into real leadership in my 20s, life gave me a reality check. I was not ready. I had ideas, powerful ideas, but I did not have discipline for those ideas. I had passion. I was really passionate, but I did not have real structure for my passion. I wanted results, but I had no capacity for those results that I wanted. So I was really going out because I wanted to make things happen. I wanted to get results. And that was hard for me to accept. Imagine someone so passionate without structure. Because, see, it is easier to blame circumstances than to look inward, which I was not doing. But that moment, that experience changed my life forever. I came to the realization that if I want to really, 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 really change my life, I had to do something different. Because the problem was not on the outside. The problem was my capacity at that time. See, here's the thing, and this is something I have, I've seen repeatedly, not just in my own life, but in leaders across different countries, leaders that I've studied, leaders that I've worked with, leaders that I've met, great leaders across different industries and organizations. Can I say this to you? Your life will only grow to the level of your internal capacity. I have learned that. I discovered that. I went through the same pattern, the same system. It works in any industry, it works for anyone at all places, in any environment. Your life will only grow to the level of your internal capacity. That means if you don't grow within, things won't show up without. Not your intentions, okay? Your capacity, not your goals, your capacity, not your efforts alone, your capacity. Your capacity is the main thing. You have the ability to develop the capacity that you need to become the leader that you were designed to be. Everyone has the ability within to become a leader. Let me repeat that. Everyone has the ability within to become a leader. Everyone, no matter where you are, no matter what you have been through, no matter where you live, no matter your circumstances, everyone has the ability to become a leader. You have it. It's in you. It's in you. And until you make a decision that I want to change my life, I want to change my situation, I want to start from today to develop capacity, things won't change. And that is why today we are not talking about scaling your business. Okay, we're not starting with that. We are talking about something that is deeper than starting a business, growing a business, or scaling a business. We are talking about scaling yourself, because you cannot build or grow anything without growing you. Your business will grow according to your own personal growth, because everything starts with you. Everywhere you go with you. All right. Your business won't go with you, right? But everywhere you go, it goes with you. Okay. And that is why you need to start with you, by scaling yourself, by growing you, by developing you. All right. So let me say this in a way that is very real. All right. Some people are not stuck because they are lazy. So don't let that get into your head when people say, "Oh, you're so lazy." No, that's not why many people are stuck. They are stuck because they have stopped growing. Not because you are lazy, because you have stopped growing. You have stopped expanding yourself. You have stopped stretching. You have stopped building your muscles, your internal muscles. It's like someone going to the gym. What are you doing? You are growing your physical muscles, right? Have you ever seen people with six pack, right? They've grown their physical muscles. The same way you have to grow your internal muscles, you have to develop you. Some people are not lacking opportunities. That is not actually the problem. They are lacking the capacity to handle the opportunity they are praying for. If you don't have the capacity to handle the opportunity that you are praying for, you will miss them. You will lose them. Some people don't have the capacity to handle some level of relationships. And if you have not built the capacity to handle those levels and be humble enough to understand that you can learn to build the capacity, you will lose the relationship. You will lose it. And sometimes people say, oh, well, it is what it is. Maybe that's the way God wants it. But have you reviewed yourself and be real with yourself if you have developed the internal capacity to control the situation with humility in order for you to grow through that process because of the next level that you have seen? All right. Maybe that is a lesson you need to learn now. Maybe that is something you need to go through now so that when you go through it, you can grow through it. Let me repeat that. When you go through it, you can grow through it. And as you grow through it, you are developing capacity within to become a better person. And I say this with humility because I've been there. And even now, I am still walking and growing and grinding every day. I'm still learning. I'm still stretching myself. Because leadership is not a destination, it is a daily decision. It is a decision that you want to become better. It is a decision that you want to do something that will grow you to become better. And no matter how far you have gone, there is only one level of leadership that you cannot graduate from. It is self leadership. You cannot graduate from that level. Whether you are at the highest level of your profession right now or your industry right now, there is still one level you cannot graduate from, and that is the level that I call the self leadership level. You have to continue to grow yourself and to scale yourself. So I want to take a moment, I want you to take a moment, rather, wherever you are today, take a moment and just pause and ask yourself this honest question. Ask yourself, where am I right now? I mean, is it my discipline that needs work? Is it my thinking that needs work? Is it my consistency that needs work? Is it how I handle pressure that needs work? Because no pressure to impress anyone. Let me say that again. There is no pressure for you to start focusing on impressing anyone. Just be honest with yourself. You can't build capacity and grow you if you are not honest with yourself. Because, see, the honesty is where growth begins. Honesty, honesty is the level, is the level. In fact, honesty is capacity. That is where growth begins. Let me give you something simple, that you can start today. Remember that our focus today is self leadership, okay? Because that is the only level of leadership where you cannot graduate from, no matter who you are. And if you are just starting out thinking about growing you and developing yourself, whether you are leading a small team or you are leading a big team or you are leading an organization or maybe you own a business or maybe you are a CEO of a of a growing organization, building people and building structures and building teams, I want to encourage you that you should focus on building your capacity. And if you have been doing that, don't stop. Keep on growing yourself. Keep on growing yourself, all right? Keep on developing you. Keep on expanding your reach. Because the higher you go, the better everything around you will become. All right. And at the end of your day, I want you to do this. Just take a few minutes and ask yourself these three questions. Okay. At the end of your day, every day, do this. If you do this, it's going to help you to check yourself. It's going to help you to know how far you have gone that very day. It's going to help you to know how you have grown that very day, what you have built that very day from within. All right. Um, don't just focus on beautifying your outward without beautifying your inward, because at the end of the day, what you need to focus on that will build what you really need is your growth within. Your growth within will determine how far things will grow on the outside. Everything, including your business, including your family, including the organizations you're leading, and of course, everything around you. I just want to encourage you that it should expand you. So let me give you those 3 questions that you need to ask yourself every day. And these 3 questions are going to determine whether you're actually doing what you're supposed to do. They're going to help you to check yourself. Make it personal and be honest with yourself every time you ask yourself these 3 questions. Number one, what did I do today that made me better? What exactly did I do today that made me better? If you don't have a good answer, to that question, then that means you need to start working towards you developing answers, productive and progressive answers that will help you to become a better person every day. Number two, where did I fall short today? You have to be honest about the things you did wrong, because until you reflect and then look at how to improve yourself, you can't grow. That means you are not growing. All right. You cannot always be perfect. No, you are not. You're not. You cannot always be true, because that is incorrect. You cannot always be the right person and everybody is wrong around you. No, 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 no. You have to review yourself. So what? Number 3 question. This one, I love this one. What will I improve tomorrow? Because the first question, you are thinking about, what did I do today that made me better? And number 2, you are checking, okay, where did I fall short? All right. And number 3, you are thinking, all right, so now that I know what I did right, I know exactly where what I'm doing wrong. And then you are thinking, okay, how can I improve tomorrow? What do you need to start doing immediately? So do not overthink this. Just be consistent. There are simple questions that you just need to follow. The most important thing is you being consistent. Consistency compounds. All right. It's like someone who wants to lose weight and then gets to the gym and decides, I want to be here today for 4 hours. And after doing it for 4 hours, and then imagine if the person doesn't go back to the gym again until maybe the next 2 weeks. No, it doesn't work that way. Growth does not work that way. It is not a day thing, it is a daily thing. That is why leadership is not what happens in a day, it is what you do daily. It is all about your daily decisions, because consistency compounds. So you have to be consistent. Go to the gym today. You want to lose weight? Just follow the pattern. Go to the gym today, do 20 minutes, then resume tomorrow again, 20 minutes, and then next tomorrow, 20 minutes. All right. You don't have to be at the gym for 4 hours in one day and then neglect going to the gym for the next 2 weeks. Just do 20 minutes every day and you will produce great results. And this is one of the things that I share, in many of our coaching programs. And that is why you need a coach. That is why you need someone who can help you to be accountable to yourself. Until you become accountable, you won't progress the way you want to be progressing. And that is why it is important for you to be very conscious about the environment where you have put yourself. Say, do this. Pick one thing to work on this week. Not everything, just one thing. Because real growth is not loud, it is consistent. Very consistent. So let me leave you with this as we end today. Next week, we're going to talk about something even more powerful. We're going to talk about how the practical ways to transform your own life, no matter what you are going through today. If you're experiencing setback, if you're experiencing, um, you know, pressure, or maybe you are feeling like you are not moving forward, you're feeling like something needs to change in order to create that change that you want. I'm going to give you some practical case studies next week, and I'm going to show you how I have, passed through all these situations, pressure, setbacks, failure, By the way, failure is sweet. It's good to fail. There are returns on failure. John C. Maxwell just released a book, Returns on Failure. I recommend it. Read the book. It will transform the way you think about failure completely. So let me leave you with this. I started on a farm with vision, but without structure. Now I'm telling you my own story. I started on the farm with my father. We're going every Saturday, okay, until my early 20s with vision, but without structure. What changed my life was not dreaming bigger, okay? So no matter what you are doing today, whether for yourself, whether for your family, for your business, or for your community, or for your nation, what changed my life was not dreaming bigger. Now, let me tell you what really changed my life. It was deciding to grow into the person. Let me repeat that. Into that person that could carry what I was dreaming about. Does that make sense? So it is not about the dream. It is not about your vision. It is all about growing into that person, becoming that person. So what does that really mean? It means capacity. It means you have to develop capacity to carry the vision, to move the vision, to drive the vision, to have conversations that can take you into that vision, because you need to build capacity for relationship to get into that vision. You need to build capacity for network to get into that vision. You need to build capacity for financial management to get into that vision. You need to build every necessary capacity to build the vision. Capacity for structure, capacity for systems, capacity for insight. These are a very important capacity that you need to build. So the problem is not vision, it is capacity. And that is what scalable leadership is all about. Because scalable leadership is not it's not about chasing more. It's not about having bigger visions, right? It's all about becoming more. It's all about building capacity. If anybody asks me today, can you just define scalable leadership in a very simple way? It's all about scaling capacity. It's all about building capacity. Scalable leadership is all about capacity multiplication. Okay? When you build your own capacity and then you pour into others and you understand how to manage your life, you can easily grow and expand and then multiply. Okay? These are some of the things we're going to be talking about as we move on. And that's why I want us to start with self-leadership, developing yourself, building your capacity. And then when you understand what it takes to grow your own capacity and to build yourself, then you can easily get into the next level, helping others to become. Because you can't help others if you are not helping yourself. According to the Scalable Leadership Framework, the first level focuses on you cannot lead and influence others if you are not leading and influencing yourself, because everything starts with you. So if this spoke to you in any way today, if this touched you in any way today, do not keep this to yourself. I want to encourage you to share it with someone who is trying out there, someone who is working hard out there, someone who may not yet understand what he or she is missing to become more and to grow to be the best. And if you want to grow consistently, stay connected. Okay? Go to my YouTube channel at Wale Adekola Global. I encourage you to subscribe to the YouTube channel, share with others. There are other videos on our YouTube channel that you can start looking into, studying to grow yourself, to become better, and to expand your reach. Okay, in any way. Because next week we're going to build on this and move into how to scale your leadership with others. Now, my focus today has been all around building and scaling your own life. All right. And next week, we're going to look into how can you build and scale your leadership with others. This is very imperative because you are not here to impress people. You are not here on earth to kind of show off. You're here to grow. We are here to grow together. And I will see you next week, Monday. I want to encourage you to continue to grow yourself, to continue to build yourself, and do everything possible to become a better person this week. Thank you very much for joining me on this live broadcast today. Remember to share with someone somewhere in the world. Take care of yourself, and God bless.
Scalable Leadership Framework by Wale Adekana. Scalable leadership is not about doing more. It's about becoming more. What you build will only grow to the level you grow. It starts within when nobody sees. Discipline or distraction, which one leads? You can't lead people if you can't lead you. What you repeat becomes what you do. You don't rise by chance, you rise by choice. Every level grows when you find your voice. Scale from within, don't rush the height. If you can't lead you can't lead right. Build your people, build systems strong, or what you build won't last too long. What you multiply is what will grow. If it needs you, it will break you, no. Real leadership begins within. That's how you scale, that's how you win. Stop controlling, start to develop. Build it to run without your effort. Clarity cuts, complexity stalls. Simple scales and reaches all. If they can lead when you're not there, you build with vision, you build with care. Leadership is not being needed again. It's building what runs without you in it. Scale from within, don't rush the